Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to one and all to VENMER Academy's Zoom session of Kala Purusha Tattva. We already had 2 intro sessions, and today Ms. Jaya will be addressing all of us with the next intro session. There has been a lot of views for these 2 sessions. Guru Shri Ponnaya Swamigal is an ocean of knowledge, and there are a lot of precious pearls in the form of several of his teachings. His ardent student, Ms. Jaya, has been instrumental in sharing this valuable knowledge to all of us. Let us all get into this much awaited session. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Request Jaya ma'am to take over, please.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Now we will start with the Kala Purusha Tattva, Rishabha Lagna. We discussed in the previous session. That is, we covered from the Lagna up to the 6th house, that is from Taurus to Libra. That is from Rishabha to Tula. So today we will start from Scorpio, the 7th house of Rishabha, the 8th house of Kala Purusha. So before entering into the subject, I would like to recollect the formula for Kala Purusha Tattva, because I thought let it be a tagline for this session. So Kala Purusha Tattva is equal to empty box predictions. So we all have to keep this in mind without fail. Okay, this is a tool actually for us to practice astrology. Okay, now let us go into Scorpio Lagna. Okay, this is the 7th house of Rishabha and 8th house of Kala Purusha. 7th house is the house which connects us to the opposite side people. That is the general public, or it can be the spouse, or it can be business partners, or anybody in the opposite side. They are in the 7th house. But since this happens to be the 8th house of Kala Purusha, there are certain risks and impacts created due to this 8th house. Okay. Mostly these Rishabha Lagna people, their marital life is, most of the cases, it's a question mark. Like they have problems and certain hurdles in their harmony and all that. So this Rishabha Lagna person, the girl who marries the Rishabha Lagna person, normally she used to be very calm and humble and very down to earth before marriage. But once she gets married to this Rishabha Lagna person, this 8th house impact will start working. Like she will become very rude, sometimes even very ruthless, we could say, and sometimes very eccentric behavior, and all this happens. That is after marrying this person. So this creates some problems in the marital harmony. So this is a risk for the Rishabha Lagna person. Then another point is the Ketu exalting in this house is also a negative factor, because being an 8th house, Ketu getting exalted in this house, sometimes you can see people who indulge themselves into homosexual activities, lesbian activities, all this you can see. But this is not necessary for all the 100 people. Maybe some 15 to 20% of the Rishabha Lagna cases might be. So we can't say this is applicable for all the Rishabha Lagna persons. The other planetary combinations are also should be taken into account. See, this is the house of Mars. Ketu gets exalted in this house, and there is the nakshatra of Saturn, that is Anuradha nakshatra is prevailing. So what happens is sometimes the sexually transmitted diseases are also you can see in such Rishabha Lagna person. But again, this is not for all the Rishabha Lagna. It again depends on other factors. See the 7-8 combination, 7 for Rishabha, 8 for Kala Purusha. This combination leads to sometimes delayed marriage. So you can see some Rishabha Lagna people, they get married only after 30s. So most of the cases, if you go through some horoscopes, you can see that. Then still, even in spite of late marriages, there are some disappointments also. And people who are close to them, they only try to grab their properties, possessions, or whatever wealth they have. So people mingle with them only for some interest, that is for some monetary interest. It's not the real friendship because of that 8th house factor. Okay, because 7th house involves not only the spouse but also the other people and business partners. So the people who come very close to them, normally they come only for some benefit. Okay, so that is why our rishis, they have said that Rishabha Lagna people are the people, those who have Tara dosha. Okay, there are many reasons we had been looking into. That is, the 6th house of Rishabha becomes the 7th house of Kalapurusha, and the 7th house of Rishabha becomes the 8th house of Kalapurusha. So these are the reasons why these people suffer in their marital life. Okay, and similarly, it's like adding fuel to fire. The Mars, the Lord of the 7th house, he gets exalted in Makara, that is the 9th house of Rishabha. So the 7th Lord exalting in the 9th house, again it leads to second marriage because of the 7 and 9 combination. So that is also one of the reasons. Then Ketu exaltation gives disappointments because Ketu is always a planet which gives disappointment. Okay, moreover, see these stars of Mars, that is Chitra, Dhanishta, Mirgasirisha, these stars are broken stars. They prevail in 2 rashis. They are not full nakshatras, they are broken and they are placed in 2 rashis. Okay, so this gives 2 lives for them. Okay, that is, it divides the lives into 2 parts because of the Mars impact. Mars is a broken star. So the only remedy for Rishabha Lagna person is to fix a proper, appropriate muhurt for the wedding. So the muhurt has to be fixed very carefully, and it has to be these points has to be taken into consideration before fixing the marriage date and muhurt. Normally, these people should not trust anybody because this is the 8th house. So always he should be very careful in trusting people. In business as well as in personal life, he should be very vigilant in selecting his friends or partners because of the 7 and 8 combination, and this will lead to getting cheated. So normally these people are easily cheated by the other person. Okay, and also insurance is in the 8th house. Okay, so insurance is in the Scorpio only. So this happens to be the 7th house of Rishabha person. So if at all he is going to take any insurance for a large amount, it has to be maintained with confidence, and it has to be very confidential. He should not disclose this to anybody, even to the most close people. He should not disclose. Insurance should be kept very confidentially because just for the sake of getting insurance money, he might even be murdered. Okay, that risk also is there. So insurance is also to be maintained with confidentiality. Then coming to the next house is Dhanur Rashi, that is the 8th house of Rishabha Lagna person and 9th house of Kalapurusha. This is Ubaya Rasi. This is Agni Tattva, Agni Rashi, and it's the natural Bhagya Sthanam of Kalapurusha. This is the Bhagya house of Kalapurusha. So naturally, they attain moksha at the feet of the Lord. So since this happens to be the 8th house of longevity and lifespan, this is nature's 9th house. So these people, after the they reach the feet of the goddess or deity at the time of their getting moksha. Okay, so this is a blessing for them actually. This house is also holding finance, money also is there in this house because 9th house is Kalapurusha's Bhagyasthan, and this happens to be the house of finance. As well as judiciary also comes in this house. Okay, so Rishabha's secret, Rishabha Lagna's secret is in this house only. Because all Lagnas or all Rashis, they have the secret of one Rashi is deposited in the 8th from its house. Similarly, the second house happens to Kalapurusha's second house happens to be the Lagna for Rishabha, and the secret of Rishabha is always inside this Dhanur Rashi. So these people, as see, the more they do food donations, charities towards food and feeding the poor, the more of a charity they do towards food, they grow up in life and they get all prosperity and happiness in life. So this is the secret of the Rishabha Lagna person. Okay, the more food donation they have to do. Then very big deposits, investments made in finance companies also is very risky for them. So they have to be very careful in depositing their money, because this 9th house happens to be the 8th house for Rishabha. And they see the companies where they deposit heavy amounts, huge investments. These people sometimes turn out to be frauds. Like, we have seen many cases, so many chit fund companies, finance companies, they all run away and they abscond suddenly one fine day. So these people, for Rishabha people, they have to be very careful before doing any investment in such companies. Okay. Then people see 9th house is about contacts, high level contacts, like people of very high esteem and high level contact people. They also turn out to be frauds one day, especially for Rishabha person, because it is his 8th house. So they should not believe somebody just like that, just because they are in a very high position with a high status and all that. They should not be carried away by such people. There also they should be very careful. Then in case they are lending money to somebody, in that case also sometimes what happens, they get cheated. When they lend money, it will not come back to them. That risk is also there for them. And with regard to diseases, since this happens to be 8th house, there is going to be some health issues also. This Dhanur Rashi is in our body organ, it indicates the spinal area, spine. So sometimes these people have low back pain, then problems in spinal cord. Then also the Purvashada Nakshatra it indicates the large intestine. So they have problems in these organs. Normally Rishabha Lagna person, see everything, I wouldn't say that all the 100 Rishabha Lagna will have all these things. But most of the cases you can test with your friends or with your people who are in Rishabha Lagna, you can test. And most of the cases, it will be correct. Since this is the house of Guru, they are likely to get the disease like jaundice, viral fever, and sometimes this 6 and 8 combination. See, the 6th house, Lord Venus, prevails as a nakshatra here in the 8th house, and this 8th house Lord Guru prevails as a nakshatra in the 6th house. So the 6th and 8th interchange of houses, it causes the diseases to become a chronic disease and they might suffer. So these are the risky things for Rishabha Lagna person. Then the 6th house Guru star in the 8th house, I told you, the exchange of nakshatras of the 6th and the 8th house, sometimes what happens will induce some greediness. What happens? It induces greediness and they want to make big money within a short span. So they go and indulge in some business or some investments, thinking that they will get a big money within a short time. So this greediness will end up in some huge losses, and they might have to face many disputes, court cases and all this. But since these people are, these Rishabha Lagna people, they somehow come out of this problem also. That intelligence also they have. See what happens when suppose they take loans or debts from banks. This interest, they take it for a very high interest. And what happens? This interest on interest, like that it goes on, and they suffer a huge loss because of this 6 and 8 nakshatras getting exchanged. Okay. Ninth house is also for higher education. So ninth house happens to be the 8th house. So they get some obstacles or hurdles while they go for higher education. That is also very common. Initially, these people are atheists. They don't believe in God. Okay, because ninth house being the 8th house, so they are initially atheists. But after they learn lots of lessons, what the nature teaches them, lots of lessons, they go through so much of sufferings in life, and later on they start believing in God. And then in later stages, they even they have the capacity to get some mantra upadesha and all that. So to that extent, they become very religious and all that. And one more thing, this is house of father for Kalapurusha, and this happens to be the 8th house. So what happens is, as long as father is alive or father is with them, he absorbs all the obstacles or hurdles or all whatever the difficulties it comes in their life. Father will take everything, like he absorbs everything, and he is protected. Rishabha person is protected. But after father's death, what will be his situation? So that also we should think. Whenever they are in trouble, they some religious people, they come to their rescue. So when Rishabha Lagna person is in trouble or in some problem, these religious people always come to their rescue. And there is one more risk, is like, since the 9th house is also for gurus, religious head. Now, when the more and more the Rishabha person, he visits these gurus or religious heads, the guru will get a risk of actually being like, there is a risk for his life, because this is his 8th house and it is the house of guru. The more he goes and meets his guru, that religious person will be in a risky position. So that risk also is there for the guru. This house is wife's 2nd house. See, for him, this is 8th house. For his wife, spouse, it is 2nd house. That is, for the 7th house, this is 2nd house. So for wife, it is the house of wealth. So what happens? See, there are two conditions. One is, either the wife may bring money and wealth to him after marriage, or sometimes the wife may cheat him. She will take away all his wealth and money and she will run away. So two things can happen. Either one will definitely happen. Either she will bring wealth to him, or she will take his wealth and she will run away. So two types of things are here. Then coming to the 10th house, Makara. This is Kalapurusha's 10th house. Kalapurusha's 10th house. And for him, it is 9th house. That is, for the Rishabha person, it's 9th house. Naturally, Makara and Kumbha, that is Capricorn and Aquarius, or 9th and 10th house of Rishabha. So Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga is naturally created here for the Rishabha person. Okay, but when 9th of Rishabha becomes 10th of Kalapurusha, this is called Karma Dharmadhipati Yoga. So just you have to put it the other way. So this house is very special for Rishabha for their upliftment and growth. This house facilitates the person to be a person of high esteem, honest, disciplined. Henceforth, it gives name and fame throughout his life. It gives high education and therefore high positions in job or profession. Saturn for them is Bhagyadipati. Saturn for Rishabha Lagna person is Bhagyadipati. And the stars of Saturn, Pushya, Anuradha and Uttra Bhadrapada, placed in Kataka, Vrichika, and Meena, respectively, they are Kala Purushas, Moksha Trikona. For Rishabha, it is Kama Trikona. So they grow up in life step by step with the help of Saturn. So Saturn is very helpful for these people to grow up in life. Also, Saturn exalts in Tula, which is their sixth house. So hard work and tireless efforts pushes them to great heights. In business too, they go to great heights, especially business deals with foreign countries. So they also have business deals with foreign countries because ninth house is about foreign trade, foreign country. Okay. Then the business which they can do, the likely businesses which they can do are automobiles, medicines, manufacturing, printing, clothing. All this is very ideal for Rishabha person. Since Makara is ninth house of Rishabha and 10th house of Kalapurusha, foreign trade is possible. 9 is also about travel. So for those who are in job, they can be representatives who travel a lot. Mars exalts in this house. Mars is 7th and 12th lord for Rishabha. So business opportunities through second wife is possible. 7 and 9 combination. As I told you earlier, the 7th lord Mars gets exalted in Capricorn. This is the 9th house for Rishabha. So this 7 and 9 combination, it leads to this impact. That is, business through second wife is possible. This house, Mars exalts, and Mars is the lord of 1 and 8 of Kalapurusha. So when they go up to great heights, danger also follows them. So as they grow up in life, they should be very careful because danger is also coming behind them, because Mars is the lord of 1 and 8 of Kalapurusha. So that also we should keep it in mind. Reason is Saturn's house, Mars gets exalted, because this Capricorn is house of Saturn, where Mars gets exalted, and we all know Saturn and Mars are enemies, and it is compared to bullet and gun and bullet. Okay. So Rishabha's Bhagyasthana, Kalapurusha's Karmasthana, when they go to high positions like political leaders, etc., they get a risk for life through enemies. So there is always a threat for their life through enemies because of this Saturn and Mars combination. Foreign ambassadors, religious organizations, head of religious organizations, temple trustees are the suitable posts which can be given for Rishabha person. They even have the eligibility to do Kumbhabhishekam for temples. So they get that eligibility. Father's side pride and honor, they enjoy and carry. So they always carry the pride and the very high esteem of their father. That is the family legacy. After this person's birth, father would have become very rich in the society. After the birth of Rishabha Lagna person, his father would have gone up to a very high position, because this is his ninth house. That is Rishabha's ninth house, and for Kalapurusha it is 10th house. This house also speaks about mother-in-law, because so care of that is the mother-in-law will care about this Rishabha person. She will give lots of care and attention, and vice versa also is possible. Benefits through mother-in-law is also possible for him. Then next, coming to Kumbha Rashi, that is the 10th house of Rishabha and 11th house of Kalapurusha. It is also Badaka Sthanam of Kalapurusha, because 11th house of Kalapurusha is Badaka Sthanam. So that also we should keep it in mind before going into the subject. This is an Aries sign. It's a Sthira Rashi. These people work in very high positions in manufacturing industries and factories. They work with extreme loyalty to the company. So they go to high scales in their job. Not only leadership, business and trade also is in this house only. Saturn, the lord of this Aquarius, he exalts in the sixth house, Libra. So very hardworking and duty conscious people are these Rishabha Lagna people. Because of the Saturn, which is the lord of Aquarius, he exalts in the sixth house of Rishabha, that is Libra. So these people are very hardworking and duty conscious. Since they perform their duty selflessly, nature rewards them with good growth and escalation in job or profession. Then about the Badaka house of Kalapurusha, we also said that this is the Badaka house of Kalapurusha. So after finishing their duty, some problem also pops up. If they do partnership business, all their wealth will be grabbed and taken away by the partners. But in spite of all these hurdles, they somehow manage to overcome all the problems. They choose the right path to come up in the life. Okay. In spite of all these problems, these people can somehow manage to come out because this is the 10th house, and for them, and for Kalapurusha, it's the 11th house. Kumbha, that is Aquarius, is called Jada Rashi. Jada is like, no, it is still fixed, it doesn't move. It's Saturn's house. So they can have iron safety lockers. So one of the business which they can do is safety lockers, because safety lockers are made of iron and steel. So this will be one of the best business they can do. And also furnitures, because Jada is fixed things. So that means furnitures are also fixed. So they can do manufacturing of furnitures as business. Then coming to the 12th house of Kalapurusha, Meena, that is Pisces, and 11th house of Rishabha. See, this 12th house of Kalapurusha becomes the 11th house of Rishabha. Here, the Lagna Lord Venus gets exalted in Pisces. So this is called the Ayana Sayana Bhoga Sthana of Kalapurusha. That is, Ayana Sayana Bhoga is nothing but it's the 12th house of bed pleasures. Okay. So in Tamil, we call it Ayana Sayana Bhoga Sthana of Kalapurusha. This is the house of elder sibling also. Okay. So it's also a house of desire fulfillment for Rishabha, because 11th house is about fulfillment of desires. They get the opportunity to have relationship with people whom they want to have in life. See, normally this Rishabha person, whatever with whomever they want to have relationship, they will get it, because this is 12th house of Kalapurusha and 11th house for Rishabha. So that I don't know whether it is a blessing or it's a boon or a bane, I don't know, but they have that bhagya. They get the opportunity to have relationships with the people with whomever they want in their life. Mostly they have many female friends than male friends. They don't mind spending any amount of money to fulfill their desires, because this house is 12th house of expenses. So they don't mind spending any amount of money just to get desire fulfillment. Of course, they have, see, they also have parallelly protests from the families too, because the second lord, Mercury, gets debilitated in this house, because 11th house, second lord Mercury debilitates, that is the lord of family. So they equally get protests from the family also. So sometimes it goes to an extent that they might even lose the family just for the sake of getting their desires fulfilled. They antagonize with the family. To gain success, they might have to lose considerably. So if they want to achieve success, the considerable amount of loss also they have to go through. Even friends who come to them will only look for some favor from them. So whoever comes there as friends, because 11th houses of friends. So they also come to Rishabha person only for some favor. To achieve something, Rishabha person will spend money secretly, because 12th house is always about secrets. So in order to achieve something, he will spend a lot of money, and that will be a very secret issue which will not be disclosed. They also get success in court cases also, because 11th house is fulfillment of desires. So they can even succeed in courts, because the sixth lord, Venus, gets exalted in this house. This house is elder siblings house. This being the 12th house of Kalapurusha, elder sibling may end up in several losses in life. So elder sibling will end up in some losses, and due to this they sometimes live a secret life in a hideout, and they hide away from them. Sometimes they get into bad habits and suffer in life. So this is about elder siblings of Rishabha Lagna person. First, then coming to the first house of Kalapurusha and 12th house of Rishabha, that is Mesha, Aries. House of losses and expenditure for Rishabha. Here Rishabha's Sukhasthanadipati sun gets exalted in this house. Sukhasthanadipati is the fourth lord of Rishabha, gets exalted in his 12th house. Okay. So properties from father will not come to them. Sometimes they might have to lose the wealth and properties which they are liable to get from their father. It will not come to them, because this house happens to be the 12th house of losses and expenses. They lose the properties of father after father's death. Sun is father, because we all know that sun is father Karaka. He exalts in the 12th house of Rishabha. That is the houses of losses. Next, the secret activities they are indulged in are not exposed outside. So in which sometimes these people, when they get indulged in secret activities, this will not be exposed, because 12th house is always, we call it, what do you call it? It's a house of secret. Then fire sign. See, this Mesha is fire sign. We all know that. So the investments they make, or sometimes it ends in losses, gives them lot of pain. Moreover, 10th Lord Saturn, he debilitates in this house. Atma Karaka sun exaltation does one good thing for them. After their lifetime, those who were benefited through them will talk about their good deeds, and their name is spread to the world. So sun getting exalted, Atma Karaka getting exalted in the 12th house, does one good thing for them, is like the people who enjoyed all the favors from Rishabha Lagna person, they will speak about them after their lifetime. So they will be spoken about, and they get the name and fame after their lifetime. That is the good thing which sun does there for them. All high esteem people in this world, for whose development and growth these Rishabha person people were helpful, will live a very prosperous life. So this Rishabha Lagna person would have helped many people for them to come up in life, and all those people, they will be very prosperous and very in a very high position and all that. But this Rishabha Lagna person, during his old age, what happens is he lives a very simple life. He will sometimes he may go back to his native place, to his father's place where his father lived. So he will live like his father during his old age. But the other people who all benefited through this Rishabha person, they will all lead a very prosperous and very, uh, very happy life. Okay. And this man will live in a very secluded place where there are nobody around him. He lives a very peaceful and calm life during his old age. And the things, see, that's all about Rishabha Lagna. I have briefed everything, all the 12 Rashis. Now I will just give you a few tips which has to be followed by Rishabha Lagna person in his life. See, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn are the Trikona lords, that is, lords of 159 of Rishabha Lagna, that is, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. So, on Fridays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, it's good for them to go to temples for their betterment in life. Okay. Then, with regard to gemstones, they can use emerald or blue sapphire, because emerald is for Mercury, and Mercury happens to be the second and fifth lord. So they can use emerald stones, or blue sapphire is Saturn, that is Yogadipati for Rishabha person. So these things they can do. And moon is the lord who indirectly operates these people. So using their mind is the best way to succeed in life. So even though the other planets are operating in the horoscope, but this moon indirectly, it helps these Rishabha Lagna people, because he is the third lord of mind. He gets exalted in the Lagna. So it's always better to follow their mind and go as per their mind instead of listening to others. For successful marriage, marriage should be performed in the month of see, I will tell the Tamil months, and in English also I will parallelly tell. That is Kartigai, Thai, and Panguni. I don't know whether Panguni will suit, but Kartigai and Thai. Kartigai is nothing but between November 15th to December 15th, and Thai is Jan 15th to Feb 15th. So these are the months ideal for Rishabha Lagna person to get married. And the best deities to be worshipped: Rajarajeshwari, Sri Lakshmi Narsimha. So these are the two deities which they have to pray very sincerely with faith. And so with this, I conclude my Rishabha Lagna narration. I hope you all enjoyed and you liked this session. So I would like to say thanks to Mr. Ashokan and all the group members who are assembled here for listening to me patiently. Thank you so much.